Welcome back again. So we are continuing with the part 2 of this particular class. Part 1 of conditional system we looked at last time was basically based on if statements, if conditions. So we are going to look at part two of it, which is which we're looking at loops, or we call it iteration. So you can iterate a particular code many times or repeat it many times. So loops repeat a block of code multiple times. So that's we call it iterations. So we have what they call while loop. While loop means it repeats code while a condition is true. So you can have a particular condition. For example, you can say count equals to 1. While count is less than or equal to 5, print count, which means print the number of count. So we'll be adding 1 to count automatically. So equal to count 1 to 5. So this is what this line of code does. Count equals to plus count. Okay, count plus equals to 1. So don't forget to update this. So if I run this particular line now, I have 1, 2 to 5. So I'm saying that why this condition is true, this condition, which condition? I'm trying to add condition here, print count. So why count less than 5? The condition is count less than 5. This condition. Why the condition is true, print count. Then I now execute my line of code here. Okay. So now you can look at also what they call for loop. This is commonly used all the time because it's very fast in dealing with issues. We can undo list, string, range, and so on. It iterates over a sequence many times. So, for example, you can loop through a list of code, loop through a particular data set, can loop through it. Okay, you can have a data set very large. The best way to loop. Okay, don't use don't use if or whatever. You have to use for loop. It's very powerful and fast. Look through the data set very fast and check a particular variable or a particular condition in it and present the output. So we can say fruit equals to apple, banana, cherry. So for fruit in this particular list, okay, fruits, print fruits. So you just print this is the simplest way of using for, very easy. Furthermore, we can say that a loop with a range for high in range 3, okay, print. All right, so go to print from 0, 1. Don't forget this has become an index now. So I think that index start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So we are 3 now. So we are saying 0, 1, 2, which is 3. All right, so that is what you will do. So if you print this out now, it will give you apple, banana, cherry, the 0, 1, 2, because we are looking at range 3, which means start from just 3 values from the range. So which means that we are looking at 3 only values because the index begins with 0. So we can also loop with break, which means which exit the loop immediately, or continue, we skip to next iteration. Else you can run after loops completely normal, no breaks. So which means you just run after loops complete normally. We run it normally and complete it without any iteration or any breaks. So for example, we say for number in range 10, if number equals to 5, you break. Print number. Let's print out the number you have. Then continue. For example, now this week was continue running. For number in range 5, if number equals to 2, continue. Print number. So you continue, skip the next iteration. All right. Skip to the next iteration. So continue example. You skip to the next one. So you can also include X now to continue. X example for number in ranges 3, print num. So this is basically what we have done up there. So we're just trying to else print loop completed. So this is just using a certain break, continue in your iteration. So it's commonly used in large program whereby you just want to continue the execution of the code, okay, while the condition is true for loop. All right. So we also can apply this, what you have learned so far, and you can apply it in a particular program. For example, if you have a question developed like this, let's develop it. You can say, okay, problem 1, write a program that classify a number as positive, negative, or 0 using if-else handle non-numeric input gracefully. So we can have say, okay, let's say admin equals to password. Now we're doing password equals to admin 1, 2, 3. Attempts equals to 3. We're trying to look at a number, a particular program that can be either positive, negative, or 0 using if. So in this case, we want to look at login attempt now. Login attempt. Okay. So you can see that y attempt is greater than 0. Okay. User input equals to enter password. So we want to collect input. What is it have to do? We have to collect input this time around now. Okay, that's what it means. So if user input is equal to password equals to this particular admin, then print login successful. Break. Attempt equals to attempt minus not equal to 1, which means subtract 1 from attempt. See negative value now. Subtract 1 from attempt. If you try again and the password is not correct, it will say to continue again until it reaches 3 times. Then it will show you print if wrong password, attempt fail, attempt. So it will show you attempt left. This means this variable down, we blend it with this string here as usual. All right. So it will be counting as it's counting the number of attempts. It's giving you the number that is left here. If it's 2, 1, then after 0, it now tell you account locked. So this is common when you want to do a login and you don't want people to enter more than 3 times. Then you can just use this kind of code in Python. So if you run this now, for example, it will require you to enter a password. Okay, so if I enter password, if I say, okay, password is a 1, 2, okay, let me say admin. Let me put correct password first. Admin 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I press enter, login successful now. For example, you run. So let me run again and let me run again. Okay, let me say I see 1, 2, 3 now. I don't put admin. I press enter. So give me wrong password. 2 attempts left. If I say 1, 2, 4 again, press enter. Attempt. Wrong password. Attempt 1 left. If I say 1, 1, 1 again, I press enter. Attempt 0 left. So 0 attempt left. Account locked. Okay. So that is how to handle such a situation. All right. So that is that for that. So let's check the second application of this where you have a problem. For example, our normal payroll we are dealing with some the other time. You can actually apply it here, even a list of employees, for example, with their work hours and hourly rates. You can calculate their pay. We apply 1.5 times over time for hours beyond 40, and also you can add 10% bonus to manager pay. Print each employee's name and total pay. So let's say we have a list now of employee. This is our usual what do you call it now? List now in our dictionary. We have name, we have hourly work, we have rate, we have manager. We have for each person now. So for us managers, for us, this only manager we have only one, which is Bob. Okay, so that's our manager. So we now want to process it. We say okay, process payroll now. So for in employees, okay, we are using our for loop now. And we create a new variable called emp in our employees table. So this become a table now. It can be a data set that we are bringing in now. For example, a database we import our data set in now. Okay, this becomes a data set now. So we are now saying for in our data set employees, for emp in employees, emp is a new variable we are creating now to use our loop. We are assigning our data set to this emp now. So we can calculate pay pays if emp, this particular emp now, because this was be assigned to this. So we can now use this as our input, our inline loop variable now. Hours equals greater than 40, over time equals to emp hours time minus 40. Okay, so base pay equals to 40 times emp rate plus over time times emp rate times 1.5. So else base pay equals to emp hours times emp rate. So we are calculating that if over time is if hours rate is greater than 40. If you look at that question, you say that okay, if a list of employee that work all rate and this and that, and apply 1.5 over time for hours beyond 40. So we are hours beyond 40, we are assigned over time of this particular one, emp hours equal to minus this. So our base pay we calculated in this format. Then you can now say okay, apply manager bonus. If emp manager equals to if emp manager now, I think if emp is manager, then base pay is multiplied by 10%. Let's have 10% bonus. Okay, our base pay. So we can now print emp now. So print emp name base pay. If we run this now, it will give us the result. Alice you get this, Bob will get this, Charlie will get this. Why? Because Bob is the manager. So his pay is higher than other ones. All right. So that is how we can apply it. So there's another way to apply it actually. So I just use that one, a simple concept to apply it to make it a little bit simple for now. So we are not dealing with complicated application for now. So this is just a simple way to understand conditional statements and loop. So I will see us in the next class as we continue with the basics of Python. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next class. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section. I'll attend to it as we progress. Thank you. You can like, you can share. You're welcome.